Okay, so here we go. We got some trailers for Miraculous and a release date. We got the Miraculous London special and we have the Miraculous Season 6 trailer, plus a confirmed release date for the London special. So don't get me wrong, I am going to cover both of them back to back, but today we're going to be focusing on London, as that's the closer release date. And then tomorrow we're going to have the Season 6 trailer because, I'm going to shamelessly milk this. Wouldn't you if you were me? Anyway, so we have, I think, 2 trailers for the special, so that's already a lot to be getting on with. But first, we'll just address the supposed release date, October 5th. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Nice and spaced out. We get this, and maybe in November to December. Realistically, it's going to be December. I think their estimate was winter 2024, right? So that checks out. But yeah, around then we're going to see Season 6 start to debut. It's good that they haven't had to delay this special because I feel like it is going to be important for the story of Season 6. At least in terms of laying groundwork and explaining things. But yeah, I guess nothing else for it but to go through the 2 trailers we've seen and see what stands out to us, eh? And before we go any further, I would like to say I haven't been reading up on any leaks and spoilers and all that, so I might get everything in this analysis completely wrong. But that's okay, that's part of the fun. Okay, so first up, bit of a bittersweet vibe to this whole thing is that it's the legit final use of the old animation style. And I know I'll get used to the new style. And in fact, I really don't think this new stuff looks bad at all. Just it's a bit different and therefore a bit jarring. But despite all of that, I will miss this look and these designs. I get that it's time to move on from that and push the show forward into the future with a bit of a soft reboot and rebrand, and part of that would realistically be a graphical upgrade, but at the same time it does feel like a definitive end of an era, doesn't it? And I get why people are sad about it. But yeah, this will be a nice farewell to that art style. Okay, so like I said, there's 2 trailers to have a look at, and I think I'll start with the one that had the French release date announcement on it. As of writing this, there is dialogue or narration in this trailer, but no translation, so, they just weren't available when I was looking. So I'm going to fly blind through this. But the first shot of note, we have Ladybug giving a press conference, which I presume is going to be her explaining her version of events that happened at the end of Season 5, the public record version, where Gabe helped her defeat Monarch and both of them died. But whoopsie, she has no idea who Monarch was. Also, I gotta say, not having a translation on hand, it is killing me for this first part because there is actual dialogue that I'm just missing completely. I could be missing all the context and all important stuff. We see Gabe losing the Butterfly Miraculous back in the battle, and Marinette putting her Miraculouses into a box and then into a drawer. Once again, no idea what they're saying here. But based on physical context clues, I guess it has something to do with guilt. Maybe she feels unworthy of being Ladybug because she has to lie. We then see Bug Noir zooming over London, which, perhaps this is where she's going to be finding Adrian after all is said and done to deliver the news about what's happened. And then we see some random, and I guess it's the major villain of the special, and he's stealing Miraculouses. I think they take the earrings, but they're neon blue here, so either the villain has a power that can track them and thus they're blue to show where they are, or something else is going on. We also know the villain knows who she is and knows that she's Ladybug and how to steal the Miraculouses. And in a later shot, I'm pretty sure he's wearing the rings that Gabe made, so this is very current, in the immediate aftermath of Season 5 before the little skip. Also, based on the colour scheme and the fact that we later see this person in Lila's base, it makes me think it's not Lila, but whatever Lila saw at the end of Season 5, with the blue flashing. So, also, what are the odds that this is some version of Adrian, by the way? Perhaps Ladybug at first tells him the truth. Maybe she tells the truth to Cat Noir, not knowing that he is Adrian. Maybe all of this makes him snap, and I guess when you use the Miraculouses, you can make yourself a new suit, based on your choices. And we also know that it doesn't need to fit a colour scheme. We saw that with Rena Rouge. We also see Bunnix get involved, and this suggests time travel shenanigans. The reality is that we've been punked out by Asterix, time and time again. He gives us progress and then reverts it all to what it was before in order to show why something shouldn't be done a certain way. We've seen it twice before that I can think of off the top of my head. There's Cat Blanc and Ephemeral. And both of these are used to show why Cat Noir can never discover that his father's Hawkmoth, and also that Marinette's Ladybug. And of course, that second reveal will come in time, I'm sure. It would be ridiculous if it doesn't. But as for him knowing who his dad is or was, and that he was the prime villain of the first arc, yeah, all I'm saying is I'd go into this with the expectation that this could be a story to show why Adrian can't handle that knowledge. The dude might snap and try to get his own wish. I don't know, we'll see. But on the other hand, it could be a completely different and new character. Shit, might not even be a villain at all, but regardless, unless it's an original character, surely it's supposed to be Adrian, right? The majority of Adrian's appearances across both trailers are simply him and not Cat Noir, aside from that one scene where they hug, just chilling as Adrian aggressed. And they do have a history of pulling this kind of thing before, with Adrian being completely unable to handle the super stress of the truth, And also, there's just this random character appearing that we've never seen before. And on top of that, the trailer heavily features Bunnix, as in present-day Bunnix or close to present-day Bunnix. She pulls Marinette through a portal, and they seem to be working together. So I feel like since we've seen Bunnix, and Bunnix storylines are always used for wiping out bad timelines before, we're going to be seeing something similar happen in the special. Also, is it just me, or is there not as much London in these trailers as you were expecting? Looks like a lot of it is going to be back in time in Paris. And that doesn't particularly bother me, as long as the storyline's cooking, but at the same time, I've got to say, a bit of false advertising with this name, huh? Maybe they'll prove me wrong, though. Anyway, that's what I got from the first trailer. And then we have the second, which is clips with music overlaid on the top of it. We start off with Marinette putting away the earrings. We have her slowly approach the old life support thing, the pod that Gabe used to keep Emily inside, and then seemingly she cataclysms the evidence of Gabe's crimes away so that nobody's going to be able to figure out the truth of what happened. Which, yeah, I never really thought about the logistics of how the previous season ended, but this does make a lot of sense. You pretty much got to destroy everything, or at the very least the most incriminating parts of Gabe's secret base. We then cut over to what seems to be a pretty damn important scene that I was annoyed we never got to see in Season 5, so I'm glad they're showing us now. And that seems to be Adrian's reaction to Gabe's supposed death. Also, Gorilla's reaction too. Is the big fella crying? Now that is a dedicated employee. So I'm excited to see what direction that scene goes. We also see the butterfly Miraculous get knocked off of Gabe, so... Did that happen in Season 5? Is that just a shot from Season 5? I actually can't remember. Or is this her using the rabbit Miraculous with Bunnix and flashing back to try to steal it and complete the set or something like that? Honestly, that's what I'd do if I had the rabbit Miraculous. I'd go back to try to get the final Miraculous that you lost. Complete the set, make sure no one else can have it. Guess not. We also see the villain character creeping up on Plag and Tiki, who are having a nap together, so I'm guessing she doesn't give the Miraculouses back to Cat Noir straight away. Maybe Plag knows that Adrian needs some time and so he offers to stay with Ladybug? I don't know. There's an interesting scene of Marinette getting a big hug from Natalie, which I guess is going to be in the immediate aftermath of the battle. And I gotta wonder about Natalie. Is she going to want to reveal the truth and be convinced to lie by Marinette? Or is the opposite going to be true? Is she going to be the one telling Marinette that they have to lie to Adrian? But yeah, this shot where they're hugging, this was not on my bingo card for this special, and it feels very weird to see, but I'm not against it. It's just a strange dynamic. Next shot, Marinette's back with her depression fit and her pajamas with the big raccoon circles under her eyes. We cut back over to Bug Noir back when she tells Adrian his dad's dead. She seems to go and comfort him. And I can't imagine that he'll do anything other than accept her kindness, because it'll feel pretty out of nowhere and somewhat out of character for him to shrug her off and rage at her, you know? Although I am interested that Kagami seems to be giving out some heavy side-eye. I mean, she knows Marinette's Ladybug, she knows who Gabe was, and we all know that from that interpretive dance episode. Imagine doing that when you could have simply had a normal conversation to tell her what's up. But yeah, since she knows all of that, she'd have to know this explanation's BS, so I'm curious, is she going to disapprove of the lying? She was pretty upset by the concept of lying when she was briefly with Adrian. It did kill their romance dead, so maybe she'll offer words of wisdom to her friend. What I do reckon they will do is gear up to give her character a lot more prominence going forward into the next season, so I expect she's going to be a bit involved in this special. Not too much, but a bit. After all, her mum is still on the loose, and she was a close associate of Gabe. I think it makes sense for her to rise to prominence this next season. We then see Adrian, the mysterious villain, a few more times. Bug Noir's flying through London, Bunnix is snatching Marinette before her timeline gets iced, the villain using his very obvious time travel powers. I mean, he has a clock on his head. And I guess this is after he listened in to Ladybug talking to Natalie in the ruins of Gabe's lair. And then there's a shot of Nuru as well. And also we have this synopsis, which I did not know existed. Here it goes. In the burrow, Bunnix sees the windows of time disappear one by one. The future's fading away. What's happening? At the same time, Marinette wakes up at home and discovers that someone has just made a wish in Paris thanks to the Miraculouses of the cat and the Ladybug. Quickly! She must transform into Ladybug, but she realizes she no longer has her earrings. Fortunately, Bunnix comes to get her just before the wish erases everything. Bunnix coming in clutch there. Together, Bunnix and Marinette, who's just become Chronobug, will have to save the future by finding out who discovered that Marinette was Ladybug, when, and how this person managed to steal her Miraculous. Marinette realizes that the butterfly Miraculous now has a new owner, and all that remains is to hope for one thing, that Ladybug succeeds in defeating her opponent, otherwise it will be the end of Ladybug for good. So yeah, I feel like it's Adrian for sure. At some point in the future, or it's going to be revealed in the past, I don't know, Adrian is going to get sus or whatever, he's going to discover the truth, get akumatized, I think. If it's in the future, maybe Lila straight up akumatizes him, like future Lila. And we've seen her give time powers to somebody before, so it makes sense for Adrian to get the same, right? And he goes back, he steals the Ladybug from Marinette, and seemingly takes all the Miraculouses so nobody can challenge him. Hell, it even looks like he goes after past Lila. Maybe threatens her into helping him, I don't know. Oh, it's so exciting. Then he makes his wish to bring back his mum and dad perhaps, and it wipes out the timeline. Hence Bunnix having to drag Marinette out so the two of them could try to figure out what the hell's going on. And that's just my very, very loose guesswork. I could be way off. But that's part of the beauty of these speculations and trailers. Like, it's so much fun trying to piece together what the hell's happening. And so I wouldn't even be mad if I was completely wrong, because I'd end up being really surprised, and that's a lot of fun too. But yeah, that's really all I have so far. And so, not much else to say really. And so I will just remind you that these have all been my opinions, and I'd like to hear yours. What do you think of the trailer? Do you agree with some of the things I've said? Maybe disagree, or have anything else you'd like to add? Is there anything you think I've missed? Any theories you have, perhaps? I'm curious for your thoughts, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know.